It all begins with a whisper, a gentle tug at the edge of your imagination, calling you toward the unknown. It's a longing for something vast and untamed, a place where the world feels raw and limitless, where adventure is written into the very landscape. For me, that whisper had a name, Patagonia. A word that conjured images of windswept plains, towering peaks, and a wildness that seemed almost mythical. I would trace the spine of South America on maps, my finger following the jagged line southward, dreaming of its dramatic end where land meets ice and sky. This was a place at the edge of the world, mountains sharp enough to tear the clouds, glaciers ancient and blue, landscapes that seemed untouched by time. The thought of Patagonia filled me with a quiet, thrilling excitement, a sense that I was about to step into a story much larger than myself. I packed warm layers, sturdy boots, and a camera. But mostly I packed my curiosity and a hunger for discovery, ready for whatever the wild south would reveal. I dreamt of endless plains and relentless wind, of skies so wide they made you feel both small and infinite at the same time. I imagined people whose stories ride that wind, gauchos and wanderers, each with their own legends shaped by the land. This wasn't just a holiday, it felt like a pilgrimage to a mythical land, a journey to a place that had lived in my dreams for years. The anticipation was its own kind of magic, every book and photo making my heart race, every story fueling my desire to see it for myself. I imagined the silence of a Patagonian dawn, the world hushed and golden as if holding its breath for the day to begin. I pictured the taste of a warm meal after a long trek, the comfort of food shared with fellow travelers, stories exchanged over steaming plates. These simple moments I knew would become the threads of memory, weaving together the fabric of my adventure. Even before I left, Patagonia was teaching me to savor the beauty of anticipation, to find joy in the waiting and the wondering. With hope in my heart and a bag on my back, I set off, ready to trade comfort for the unknown, and routine for the extraordinary. I was ready to leave the familiar behind and step into a world of epic landscapes, where every step would be a new beginning. The call of the wild south was irresistible, and I knew, deep down, that this journey would stay with me forever, shaping the person I would become. My journey began in El Calafate, Argentina, on the shore of Lago Argentino. The Patagonian wind greeted me, a powerful force, not a gentle breeze. The sky felt endless, the town a charming outpost with wooden houses and cozy shops. Life here moved slower, in tune with nature's rhythms. I walked the lake's shore, watching flamingos add color to the landscape. Locals spoke of mountains and glaciers with deep respect, their connection to the land clear. Evenings were spent sharing stories with fellow travelers over local wine. El Calafate is more than a starting point, it's where you begin to grasp the scale of Patagonia. The mountains are giants, the lake a vast inland sea. As the sun set, painting the sky orange and purple, I felt at peace, ready for the adventures ahead. Nothing truly prepares you for your first sight of the Perito Moreno Glacier. The moment you arrive, the sheer scale and majesty of this natural wonder take your breath away. It's as if you've stepped into another world, one sculpted by ice and time. It's a living, breathing river of ice, colossal, stretching for miles, glowing with every shade of blue imaginable. The glacier's surface shimmers in the sunlight, revealing intricate patterns and deep crevasses that hint at its immense power. Each layer of ice tells a story, capturing centuries of snowfall and transformation. Walking the pathways that wind along the glacier's edge, I heard the glacier groan and creak, echoing like distant thunder. The sounds are haunting and beautiful, a reminder that this massive body of ice is always in motion, alive in its own way. Suddenly a massive chunk would break away, crashing into the lake with a roar and a splash. The force of the calving sends ripples across the water, and everyone nearby falls silent, awestruck by the raw energy unleashed in that moment. I took a boat trip to the glacier's towering wall, feeling dwarfed by its scale and chilled by its ancient breath. Up close, the glacier looms above you, its jagged peaks and sheer cliffs rising like frozen cathedrals. The air is crisp, filled with the scent of fresh ice and the sound of water dripping from melting edges. This ice has been here for thousands of years, carrying the memory of ancient winters. Each crack and bubble is a time capsule, preserving the history of our planet in frozen form. Touching the glacier, you feel the weight of ages beneath your fingertips. Watching it move and change was a privilege, a reminder that our planet is alive and in constant motion. The glacier advances and retreats, reshaping the landscape with every passing year, a slow but unstoppable force of nature. Hours passed as I stood, simply watching and listening, feeling deeply connected to the earth. The silence is profound, broken only by the occasional crack of ice or the distant call of a bird. The glacier teaches patience, humility, and awe for nature's unstoppable forces. It reminds us how small we are in the face of such grandeur, and how important it is to protect these wonders for future generations. As the sun set, casting gold on the ice, I felt immense gratitude. The glacier glowed with a warm light, transforming the landscape into something magical and unforgettable. I had witnessed one of the world's great wonders, a memory frozen in my mind. The experience left me changed, filled with respect for the power and beauty of nature. The Perito Moreno Glacier is a powerful teacher. It invites us to slow down, to observe, and to appreciate the delicate balance of our environment. It's a place of wonder, a spectacle both ancient and immediate. Here, the past and present meet in a dance of ice and light, reminding us of the ever-changing story of our planet. Standing before it, I felt small, but also part of something vast. The glacier's presence is humbling, yet it fills you with a sense of belonging to the natural world. This was Patagonia's raw power, up close, a place where nature's artistry and might are on full display, leaving you forever changed. From ice to rock, I traveled to El Chalten, Argentina's trekking capital, a place where adventure pulses in the air and the wild spirit of Patagonia feels close at hand. The village sits in a broad valley cradled by the dramatic peaks of Fitzroy and Cerro Torre, their jagged silhouettes dominating the skyline and promising adventure at every turn. These legendary granite spires rise sharply from the earth, often shrouded in swirling clouds that shift and dance with the wind, creating an ever-changing spectacle. The energy here is infectious. Adventurers from all over the world gather, drawn by the challenge and beauty of the mountains, sharing stories and anticipation before setting out. My goal was clear, the iconic trail to Laguna de los Tres, a route that winds beneath the towering presence of Fitzroy, promising both challenge and reward. The path led me through ancient beech forests, their leaves whispering in the wind, and over rushing rivers, each step revealing more of Patagonia's raw, untamed beauty. The final climb was steep and demanding, but reaching the turquoise lagoon at the foot of Fitzroy's sheer granite walls felt like stepping into a dream, nature at its most breathtaking. I sat in stillness by the water's edge, the wind tugging at my jacket, the only sounds the distant rumble of icefalls and the gentle ripple of the lagoon. In that moment, surrounded by ancient rock and the vast silence of the mountains, all my worries faded away, replaced by a deep sense of peace and connection. The trek was more than a walk, it was a journey into the heart of the mountains, a test of endurance and spirit, and a reminder of nature's power to humble and inspire. Patagonia's peaks challenge and inspire, their wild beauty leaving you in awe and reminding you how small you are in the face of such grandeur. The next day, I glimpsed Cerro Torre, another legendary spire, its summit often lost in clouds, mysterious and alluring, calling to climbers and dreamers alike. These mountains are not just beautiful, they transform you, leaving a mark on your soul and a longing to return to Patagonia's wild embrace. Leaving Argentina's peaks, I crossed into Chile, another chapter of adventure. The bus ride spanned endless Patagonian steppe, wind sweeping over hardy shrubs, herds of guanacos grazed by the roadside, the landscape vast and hypnotic. The border crossing was a remote outpost, a simple transition between worlds. Soon, the plains gave way to rolling hills and distant mountains. The Chilean side felt greener, more rugged. Lakes of emerald and turquoise appeared, fed by glacier melt. Anticipation grew as we neared Torres del Paine National Park, the jewel of Chilean Patagonia. Arriving in Puerto Natales, a town of adventurers on a fjord's edge, I felt the familiar buzz of excitement. Snow-capped peaks rose across the water, the air tinged with sea and mountain. I had crossed a border, but more importantly, I'd entered a new world of wonder. The adventure was far from over. Torres del Paine National Park is nature's masterpiece. Soaring granite peaks, blue lakes, roaring rivers, and sprawling glaciers. The Paine Massif dominates, with its three iconic granite towers rising like jagged fingers. The hike to the base of the towers was long and challenging, but the view was worth every step. The towers soared above a milky green glacial lake, a scene of raw power and beauty. But the park is more than just the towers. I explored the French Valley, an amphitheater of rock and hanging glaciers. The Cuernos del Paine, with their dark and light layers, were striking. I stood before the immense Gray Glacier where blue icebergs floated in the lake. Every corner offered a new spectacular vista. The lakes glowed turquoise and sapphire, the mountains changed color with the light. Torres del Paine felt like walking through a living painting. Nature here uses its boldest colors and wildest shapes. It's a paradise for anyone who loves the wild. Patagonia's wildlife is as wild and resilient as its land. Guanacos, relatives of llamas, stood proudly on hilltops watching us before bounding away. High above, Andean condors soared, giant birds, symbols of the Andes. I glimpsed clever gray foxes and once the rare huemul deer. Bird life was rich black-necked swans, pink flamingos, Magellanic woodpeckers, and cheeky caracaras. Every walk brought new discoveries, teaching me to slow down and look closely. These encounters were quiet gifts, making the journey even more special. Seeing animals in the wild is a privilege, a reminder we share this planet with incredible beings. The curious stare of a guanaco, the shadow of a condor, these moments connect you to Patagonia's soul. The wild here is alive and it welcomes you as a guest. Patagonia's adventure is also a feast for the senses. Cordero al Palo, lamb slow-cooked over fire, was a highlight, shared with new friends in rustic warmth. After long hikes, hot lentil stew and empanadas brought comfort. Bakeries offered fresh bread and pastries for the trails, local beers and wines added to the joy. Meals became moments to rest, reflect, and share stories. The people, gauchos, guides, and locals, were the heart of Patagonia, their warmth and resilience unforgettable. Sipping mate with a family, sharing smiles with fellow hikers, these small connections made the journey meaningful. The firelight, the food, and the friendships were the warm heart of my wild adventure. In Patagonia, it's the people and the moments that linger long after the landscapes. All journeys end, and with a heavy heart, I began my way home. From the plain, the Andes looked like a sleeping dragon, ancient, powerful. I was leaving Patagonia, but it would never leave me. The silence of dawn, the roar of glaciers, these were now part of my story. Travel isn't just about seeing new places, it's about feeling them, connecting with nature, people, and yourself. Patagonia is an invitation to step out of your comfort zone and discover your own strength. I hope you let the Patagonian wind call to you, whether you trek or simply dream. There's a piece of Patagonia waiting for everyone. Pack your curiosity and sense of adventure. The greatest journeys are measured in memories and how they change us. The world is waiting. Go and discover it.